We Rock the Spectrum Forest Hill was opened by Trey and Nikki Wooten in partnership with My Brother Rocks the Spectrum Foundation. Now, the goal of this organization is to provide a safe, fun learning environment for all kids to play and to grow. It's not only open to kids on the spectrum, but it's open to all kids. Join us in the next 30 minutes as we hear about their humble beginnings, all the activities and services they provide to Harford County, and how you can become a part of it. I'm Christy Breslin, and this is Harford MagaScene. Trey and Nikki Wooten are the proud owners of We Rock the Spectrum right here in Harford County, a very unique facility that is geared towards the autism community. They're here to tell you about their humble beginnings, how did they get started, where are they going, and all the special guests and activities that they offer. Trey and Nikki, thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, Trey, what exactly is We Rock the Spectrum?
We Rock the Spectrum is a sensory gym. We focus on many different equipment pieces that's going to be for children with autism, other special needs. But also it's not just for kids with autism, other special needs, it's also for all kids. So we're talking about all kids literally from like 6 months of age all the way through probably 10 to 12 years old, depending on the child. And now when you talk about special needs, we go all the way into adulthood as well for coming in here and hanging out and playing on all the different pieces of equipment.
Now, Nikki, this all came about from My Brother Rocks the Spectrum Foundation. Tell us about that foundation. How did it begin, and how has it evolved over the years?
So the foundation is the nonprofit part that our founder of the CEO of We Rock the Spectrum Kids Gym, she created in honor of her two kids. Her son has autism, and then her daughter does not. And just the fact of the whole inspiration with We Rock and My Brother Rocks the Spectrum is that all kids, all abilities can be in an environment where you never have to say I'm sorry, where they're safe and sensory safe, just emotionally safe. So it was created to be able to provide that for everyone. So even families that have a hard time, that need a little assistance financially, when you donate to this foundation, and we also raise funding for that through our gym as well. When you those funds are used, the different gyms of our franchise, we can all as we are each owned individually, locally, but we can use those funds to be able to help the different families in need in our own areas. That families that have special needs kids that would love to do camp or a social group or something, but maybe they can't afford that because therapies and everything else are so expensive as well.
Now, Trey, what kind of activities do you have, and the equipment? It's so unique, so describe it a little bit for me.
All right, so in here you're going to find many different types of equipment. One of the highlights of the gym is the Zipline. The Zipline is for all the kids, no adults, but the kids absolutely love the Zipline. But in addition to the Zipline, you have a rock wall, you have a cargo net to climb, you have a trampoline, you got about 8 or 9 different kind of swings. You have a arts and crafts area that includes many different manipulatives, including puzzles and other things to do with your hands for your fine motor skills. You have a preschool toddler type area with lots of small toys. You have imagination stations. There's a train table. There's all kinds of things for the kids to enjoy in here.
Nikki, opening this gym was a big project. Why did you and Trey decide to take that on?
So we've been here a little over 15 years in Maryland, and so through that time, we have just realized that there is a pretty big population of families with kids with autism and other special needs. And we also have a son who, he just graduated high school, but he was diagnosed with autism in middle school. And we just really realized that with this population of kids with differing abilities, there weren't a lot of places for them to go that families could feel like they could go and not be judged, not feel like they have to say I'm sorry all the time. I mean, the big phrase of our gyms is a place where you never have to say I'm sorry, and just a place that could be emotionally safe, sensory safe. That pretty much the kids can just be themselves, and the parents can always say just where grace is expected, and parents can take a breath. So looking for a place like that, or wanting to be able to meet that need, we actually came across a few years ago the franchise of We Rock the Spectrum, and it just played in our heads for a while until it just came the right time and just the right thing for us to do. So, and then we went for it, and here we are.
Well, it's a beautiful facility. So, Trey, where are you located, and why'd you pick this spot?
We are here because this is the spot that we just really felt like we needed to be, right here in Forest Hill in Harford County. The specific address is 1998 Rock Spring Road. We're located in the bottom level of an apartment complex right next to Kohl's. I tell you that because the GPS may get you lost, and so I'm telling you exactly where we are, so you better find us when you want to come.
Well, any woman would know where Kohl's is. Now, Nikki, the reaction from the parents, what has it been?
The parents really enjoy coming to. I always do a hashtag parents love it too on our social media posts because they come in, they bring their kids. Reaction a lot of times when people first come in, especially their first time, they talk about how clean and fresh it is. We do everything we can to keep everything clean and sanitize as much as possible. They enjoy the fact that they can get on a lot of the equipment too. Can't get on the Zipline, but pretty much everything else they can enjoy a swing while their kids are swinging. The parents bring the little ones and they can enjoy the trampoline with them or help them with the different activities as well. And then a lot of the parents also have mentioned how they like that if they have a little one and an older one, that it's a good, lots of things to do for the entire range of ages. So, and a lot of people have like a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old, and it's hard to find places that you can bring both of them where one is not either getting into too much or getting bored. And most of all the kids here that come in, doesn't matter really what the age, they find something to play and do. So.
Now, Trey, I've been following you for a while. There's always a special activity, but what I'm really interested in is the variety of special guests that you've had come through.
We try to do character nights or character days each month. When we do character days or nights, let's bring in characters. We've had Blippi come in. We've had Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse come in. We've had many different princesses come in. So lots of the characters come in, have a great time playing with the kids, hanging out, taking photos here in the gym. In addition to character nights, we also offer things like birthday parties. We have drop-off where you can bring your kids. Maybe you need to run that at Kohl's, we mentioned. And so you can go shopping for a little bit, drop your kids off here for up to 3 hours. There's many different things on our schedule as well you can find here, such as you can find classes such as Zumbini or yoga or pre-K classes. All those types of things are scheduled all throughout the year.
Well, this sounds absolutely amazing. So, Nikki, for more information, anybody that's interested in finding out more about the gym and how maybe it could help their family, how do we get in touch?
There's several different ways you can do that. You can go to our website, werockthespectrumforesthill.com. We're really active on our social media, Facebook and Instagram, WRTS Forest Hill. And, or you can give us a call, 410-891-4600.
Thank you so much for having me. Had a great time. Got to try some of the activities. Very impressive. And we're so lucky to have people like you in our community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Well, coming up next, we're going to hear about how Harford County actually stepped in to help them open the gym during the pandemic and get the perspective from some of the parents of what it's like to be a member here at We Rock the Spectrum. Stay with us. I'm here with Delegate Mike Griffith. You know him from seeing him around Harford County. He has been very supportive in helping We Rock the Spectrum get off the ground, and he is also the parent of a special needs child, so he's here to tell us about his experience firsthand. Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Mike, I know that there was some challenges in opening We Rock the Spectrum, particularly during the pandemic. How did Harford County step in to help make the opening of this gym a reality?
Sure, so in April of 2020, the owners here had reached out to myself and Pat Vincenti, Harford County Council President, expressing their concern because they were classified as a gym, and under the current COVID guidelines at the time, they weren't able to open. So we worked with the state and the health department to get them reclassified as a special needs facility, because that's what it really is. You know, they call themselves a gym because it's a place where special needs kids and neurotypical kids get to interact together. But it really is a special needs facility with the sensory equipment we have here and so forth. So we were able to get them reclassified, so they were able to open in May of 2020. Otherwise, because their grand opening was scheduled during the height of COVID, and with the expenses to open, the thin margins a facility like this operates on, without a reclassification, they may never have opened at all, and never would have been the great community amenity that they are today.
Now, Mike, you know firsthand, what is the value of having something like this in Harford County?
Well, what's incredible, because there are so few resources and recreational activities that are inclusive for special needs children. And that's not an indictment of anything, but just the level of awareness that's growing and the rise in special needs diagnosis. So it's an emerging need in the community, and this is one of the first places to really help solve that need in the community. So it's tremendous to have a place where we can go, take my special needs son to play in a safe environment with equipment and toys that are geared towards him, and also where other kids get a chance to interact with him as well, and vice versa. So it's a tremendous community amenity in an area that is significantly underserved right now.
Now let's talk about your experience. You've spent a lot of time here. We've heard from your wife, but we want to hear from your viewpoint.
Sure, it's tremendous. One, the owners here are absolutely outstanding in being accommodating and working with us, and allowing us to be special needs parents. You know what I mean? It's difficult to be a special needs parent. You know what I mean? The special accommodations that the kids need. The kids find themselves in unique situations that is difficult to navigate in a typical environment. But here, when things go sideways or the kids start squealing or acting out, here it's okay. So it's a place that we can go, and I don't like the term necessarily safe space, but it's a space where we can go with our son and not look over our shoulder, not be embarrassed or concerned, and really feel free to be just Tristan's mom and dad.
Well, Mike, let me ask you, have you really formed a relationship with some of the other special needs parents that have come here?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, a network, a community has really birthed out of this place. There's a number of special needs parents, special needs kids that we've built relationships with, which is great, not just for the sake of the community, right? But it's on the hard days, it's good to know that other people are going through the same things we are, and not because we benefit from somebody else going through a struggle, right? But there is strength and resiliency from being able to share those experiences with other families, right? So it's become maybe a bit of a support group in some cases, a chance to be able to connect with other families going through the same thing, so we can go and meet with those other families and have play dates with those other families. And these are families that we wouldn't have otherwise known but for We Rock the Spectrum.
That is fantastic. Now, Mike, from you, what advice would you give to someone that is struggling right now that maybe just got a recent autism diagnosis?
I mean, the first thing is take a moment and breathe, You know, the conversation me and my wife had was don't look down. You know, if we take a step back and think of what that means, can be overwhelming. So one day at a time, one step at a time, engage, look for the resources that are out there, connect with other parents that have gone through it, you know, and do everything you can, as much as you can, to help the child along developmentally as possible. You know, but also, I think a big thing is, you know, divorce rates with special needs parents are astronomical. So, because it's a real challenge. So, you know, my wife and I had that conversation. It was like, listen, we're in this. We're gonna, you know, stick with this. We understand what's in front of us, and educate yourself as much as possible on what it means and what you can do. It's, you know, what they say about autistic kids. If you've met one autistic kid, you've met one autistic kid. So you can't say, my kid's had his diagnosis and this is where that child will be, right? Because that's not how it works. But just try to immerse yourself in as many environments as possible with as many parents going through similar things as possible to get that strength, support, information, education, and to get some people to maybe point you in the right direction of what's next, because when you get that diagnosis, you're pretty flat-footed.
Mike, thank you so much. Like I said, it's so great to have somebody that actually lives this experience that can tell us about it firsthand. So thank you for that, and thank you for all that you do for Harford County.
No, and thank you for the opportunity to advocate not only for this place, but for our special needs community.
Well, as you said, it's a community. So coming up next, we're going to speak to Mike's better half. Yes, I said it. I'm now here with Amy Griffith. She is the proud mother of Lincoln and Tristan. She is also a regular here at We Rock the Spectrum. She's here to tell us about how this organization has really helped her kids thrive and why she continues to support them. Hi, Amy.
Hi, how you doing?
Now, Amy, how did you first find out about We Rock the Spectrum?
My son used to be in ABA therapy, and our BCBA had sent me an email about this place opening. It was maybe a year before it opened, and then COVID happened, so of course there was like a huge delay. But I was tracking them online, waiting for them to open, and then they opened slowly, and we've been coming back ever since.
Now, you have two boys.
I do.
Can you tell me about the boys?
I do. So my oldest is 8, Tristan. He has autism. He's definitely delayed developmentally, and he bumps around into stuff. So a place like this is great. He likes to bounce, he likes to climb, he likes to touch everything, and they let him do that here, and that's fantastic. My younger son, who is actually just about to turn 6, he's super social, and he is also extremely active and just wants to be everywhere and with anybody, and that's also wonderful here. So it's a nice place where I can bring both my child with autism and my child without autism to spend time together, because that's not always easy to do.
Now, how did you first find out that Tristan had autism?
I think at his 18-month checkup, we noticed that there were some delays on the list, and then we went for additional testing, and then eventually the diagnosis he was 2, I think, when he was diagnosed.
Amy, when he was first diagnosed, how did you find out? What were some of the signs that maybe told you something might not quite be right here?
I mean, there's a lot of signs, and they didn't all pertain to him. I think at times he would look like just to the side of you. He wouldn't kind of look you in the eye, but he would look just to the side of you. And sometimes he would stare off into space. Like as a baby, you don't really get a lot of kids that zone out. That was really it for our telltale signs. He was a little bit delayed. He hit all of the milestones, but was just on the tail end. And then at the 18-month checkup, it was, here's a checklist of where your kid should be. And he wasn't. So our pediatrician said, hey, you should get him evaluated. And when we did, he was way down. I think he was like between 8 and 14 months development with various things. And then we had followed up with a developmental pediatrician who did some testing and then diagnosed him later.
Now, raising Tristan, it's not always easy. What are some of the biggest challenges you face as a parent and some of the biggest challenges he faces as a child?
Just figuring out how to live differently, I guess. It's a different life than your expecting or that you're trained for. So you just have to figure out how this world and your child fit together. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. But I think that's really it, just figuring out how it fits together.
Now, when you first discovered We Rock the Spectrum, tell me again why this is such a great place for both the boys.
Well, I mean, look at the stuff here. Like the equipment they have is amazing. My kids are very active and they like to touch and climb, and this place has everything that you can do that with. And my older son has been in occupational therapy for many years, and they have a lot of the same equipment. So he's familiar with the equipment. He knows how to use some of the equipment. He's not as nervous. Sometimes on the playground, he's nervous. He's getting a lot better, though, actually, so I shouldn't say that anymore. But here, he was familiar with the equipment and just more inclined to use it, enjoy it.
Well, Amy, there's so much here, stuff that even you and I would like to do.
Oh, yeah.
What is their favorite activity, both boys?
Tristan's the trampoline for sure. I think the zip line for Lincoln.
And what would you say to someone that is considering maybe becoming a part of the We Rock the Spectrum family?
Trey and Nikki are so nice and kind and welcoming, and everything is friendly for the kids. I mean, I don't think you can break anything, and if you do, nobody's going to yell at you for it. Again, that's a big, like, in my family, that's a big plus. If you can come somewhere and it's very unlikely that you'll break something, that's awesome. But it's just, everybody's nice and everybody gets it, and the kids are here to have fun, and it's a great place to come to.
Now, how often do you visit?
Sometimes once a week. Sometimes we don't get out that often, but we're definitely here every month. Sometimes more than once a week, I guess. Depends how crazy the kids are.
Well, and you said the staff is fantastic, right?
They are wonderful.
Amy, thank you so much. So glad that we have something like this in our community and supportive parents such as yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's awesome to be able to come to a place like this where like your kids can bump into stuff and run into people and touch everything and not get in trouble.
Exactly. What more could you ask for?
Exactly.
So as you've seen, Amy is a huge fan of We Rock the Spectrum. Now, how do some of the other kids and the parents feel? We'll get more feedback when we return. I'm talking with Meredith Weizenfeld. She is a proud member here at We Rock the Spectrum. She's going to tell us about her humble beginnings. How did she discover them, who they are, what they're all about, and about some of the friendships she's formed, not only with other participants, but also the owners. Hi, Meredith.
Hi.
Now, Meredith, when did you first realize that we had something unique like We Rock the Spectrum in our community?
Well, actually, I was familiar with it from their other location in Florida, another franchise. And so when I saw the sign on Rock Spring Road, that piqued my interest because I knew it was a really fun place to bring your kids. I had small kids, and it was, I think, the beginning of the COVID shutdowns, and so we were looking for something fun to do.
Well, tell me about your kids.
Okay, I have one daughter who's 8, Whitney, and then I have twin boys, Warren and Wesley, who are almost 6. And so they were 3 and 6 at that time, so we needed to get out of the house.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess it's safe to say We Rock the Spectrum was a great place to burn off energy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had a blast every time.
Now, what actually draws the kids to this specific gym?
Well, easy. Obviously, the kids love the trampoline. They get to bounce. But I think that the zip line is a favorite. Because they get to do it, and adult. That's the one thing that adults are not allowed on. We're only allowed to go swing, which is great. But the kids love to start at the top, swing down, hit the pole, land in the beanbags. They could do that the whole time, basically.
I mean, it's such a great gym. And what makes this gym stand out to you more than others?
Well, we've become really good friends with Trey and Nikki, and so they treat us like family. We walk in, we say hello, we chat the whole time, and we've always felt very safe coming here during COVID. They were doing extra cleaning, but they were also very flexible with kids who had special needs, if they wear masks, not wear masks, even my kids. And then we just love all the activities. Everything's new, well taken care of, and there's nothing to complain about. It's just lots of fun.
And that is a great problem to have, isn't it? Now, you said that Whitney spent a lot of time here after school?
It was actually during school when everything was virtual. Yes, during virtual school, they would have drop off for parents who had to work and couldn't be there to help their kids do virtual schooling. And kids could come, and they came, and Whitney did her work with actually Nikki's daughter, who was also doing virtual school. And she got all of her work done here. She did all of her academics, and Nikki helped because she's a former teacher, and I would not have survived virtual school without them.
A lot of our interviewees today have said it's like a family, and I think you echo those comments. Elaborate a little bit on that.
Oh, that's so funny you say that. Yeah, well, all of my friends come, and then we actually have made friends here. We were just playing. The kids made friends, and then I met the mom. She was cool. Yeah, that's happened a lot. And then we've come here for a bunch of birthday parties because a lot, people choose to have their birthdays here because there's a nice little party room, and the kids get to play. Yeah.
Now, what would you say to somebody that was thinking, oh, I saw We Rock the Spectrum. What would you say to encourage them to give it a chance?
Sure. Yeah. Do you want to get out of the house? Do you want your kids to have fun and not complain for an hour and a half? No, the kids come, they have a blast, they get all their energy out. You feel safe, you feel at home, you feel comfortable, you feel clean, which, is just like a big thing when your kids are all over the floor.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Tell me more about what kind of impact this has had on your family, because it seems like this is your go-to place.
Yes, definitely. It's go-to when the weather's crummy, it's go-to when we're bored. And we become, like I said, we become close with the owners, and actually their daughter comes and babysits for us. So we really have become we love them, yeah.
Well, that's Harford County for you.
That's so true. Everybody knows everybody, yeah.
Meredith, thank you so much. It's so much fun. It looks like not only for kids, but I guess for the parents too.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. That's why I love it, is because I get to go on all of the equipment. I get to swing, I get to bounce, and I get to play with any toys that I find too.
Well, that is awesome, and she has just given me the go-ahead to try the zip line, so I think I'll try that next. Stay with us. As you have seen today, We Rock the Spectrum is a prime example of an all-inclusive place where children can grow and thrive in a safe environment. If you would like to learn more about them, how you can get involved, volunteer, donate, or just become a part of the family, visit them at werockthespectrumforesthill.com. I'm Christy Breslin. See you next month on Harford MagaScene.